KwaZulu-Natal has unearthed irregularities in the procurement of personal protective equipment. Premier Zikalala, giving a briefing today, said one of the findings, or one of the things that investigations have showed, was that the approval of a purchase order before it had been approved actually took place. Zikalala has been briefing, as I was saying, media on investigations into the scandal after millions of rands worth of PPE meant for schools mysteriously disappeared.
In terms of the findings, the investigation has highlighted significant irregularities which were caused by inadequate and inefficient systems of internal control with the Provincial Department of Social Development. This included the purchase orders for PPE issued to 11 service providers prior approval of the procurement submission by the accounting officer. Some of the service providers exceeded the minimum amount of purchase as regulated under Treasury Instruction Note. In some instances, quotations were changed 3 times, and on each occasion, the quantities of items were reduced in order to reduce the total cost of procurement. However, most noticeable, there was no reduction of the pricing per unit. As a result of the above, the investigation concluded that all payments made to service providers are irregular to the tune of 13,630,229.50 cents.
Zikalala says in some instances, service providers were paid in full before the delivery of services.
The investigation noted that some of service providers were paid in full on the 4th of May 2020, while the delivery of goods happened on the 11th of May 2020. It is an anomaly to pay for services not rendered, but effect payment in advance. That is an anomaly that is not accepted. The investigation also noted that some service providers invoiced the departments for goods not yet delivered. Owing to the above, the investigation has recommended that disciplinary actions be instituted against the acting accounting officer at the time, among others for contravention in terms of Section 38, which is read together with Section 40 and 86 of PFMA Act number 1 of 1999, and charges of misconduct in terms of Chapter 7, which goes together with SCM Handbook, and for his failure to comply with the chapter of the Code of Conduct of the Public Service Regulation. The investigation has revealed that the submissions were flawed in that approved submission for award to service providers were done ahead of the procurement processes. For an example, one submission was signed on the 26th of March 2020, but the accounting officer only signed the submission for procurement on the 31st of March.